Hey there, I'm Ken. This is Canadian Retro Things. Welcome. Today I am going to take a look at the very first Starship Troopers video game. That's right, I am looking at the very first, the original Starship Troopers video game. And I'm stressing video game here because there was an actual board game that came out about 6 years before this game. And this game is based on the book because it's about a decade and a half before the movies came out. So I'm going to do a couple of things in this video. I am going to very briefly touch on where this game came from. I am also going to take a look at the internet because Starship Troopers is one of those things that has a huge internet presence. There are all kinds of other games, and there's like wiki pages and all kinds of stuff. So we're going to take a look and see just how complete the internet is. Is this game easy to find on there? Or could it be the internet is wrong on some stuff? It's incomplete? No, that couldn't be, could it? Oh, and yeah, we're also going to play the game. When a lot of people think about Starship Troopers, it's because of the 1997 cartoonishly violent movie, or one of its sequels. Interestingly enough, one of the, I guess you would call them rumors, because, well, I can find no collaborating evidence. Just what I heard about the first movie is that each character in the movie is based loosely on the characters from Archie comics. Which makes sense if you think about it. Johnny is Archie. Dizzy and Carmen are Johnny's love interests, just like Betty and Veronica. Also, in the original novel, Dizzy is a man. Carl is Dilton, the brainy one. Ace is Jughead, the best friend. And of course, Xander, a bit of a jerk, is Reggie. Although not in the movie long, you could also equate Breckenridge to Moose. But the movie is not what I'm here to talk about. I'm going to talk about the video game made years before the movie and based on the book. The book was written by Robert Heinlein and published in 1959, decades before the movie. The game I'm going to look at is called Klendathu, which is the name of the bug's home, and was released in 1982 for the TRS-80 color computer. This is a game that is very hard to find anything about on the internet, even though it was widely available when released in all Radio Shack stores and had good reviews. All right, now it is time to see if we can find information about the game that I am looking at anywhere on the internet here. So I'm starting with oldest Starship Troopers video game. Well, it just lists the Starship Troopers video game from 2005. Well, that's about 20 years newer. So you've got here the all 4 Starship Trooper games ranked by fans. I thought there was more than 4, but okay, let's look. We've got Extermination. Nope. Terran Ascendancy. Nope. The original Starship Troopers. Nope. And Terran Command. No, that's 4. So that is not right. Well, let's try earliest. That didn't change it at all. Starship Troopers video games. No. Here we go. This is about the novel. So there's the board game mentioned. There we go. 1998's Starship Troopers Battlespace was a web-based interactive game. That's the one I remember as the second Starship Troopers game. Here we go. Let's look at the Starship Troopers wiki under video games. Okay, this is a list of all games based on Starship Troopers. Now, the game we're looking for is called Klendathu, so we go under K, and K has no entries. We know the game is called Klendathu. Let's just type that in. It's just about the place, nothing about the game. So all of these things, the Starship Troopers wiki, the internet, everything, if you go into some retro places on the internet, so if you actually type in Klendathu video game, then you'll get a few places where you can actually see the game being blogged about, or Moby Games, which of course is a good place for a lot of retro games, does have a listing for it. So it is on the internet. It's just very hard to find, especially if you don't know the name of it and you don't know any information about it. You just know it's a Starship Troopers game. You're never going to find it. The game itself was written by Leo Christopherson, a name familiar to fans of the Radio Shack line of computers for such titles as Android Nim, Voyage of the Valkyrie, Dancing Demon, and In the Halls of the Mountain King, to name a few. Klendathu, unfortunately, was the only game he released on the color computer. The other ones were on the TRS-80 Model 1 and 3. The manual for this game is great. It not only gives you detailed instructions on how to load and play the game, but it includes a backstory in case you were unfamiliar with the novel, because this is, of course, years before the movie. If you had not read the novel, the only way you would know about this story is if you played the 1976 board game. The manual is also a must-read, so you know how to play the game. So let's jump in, fire it up, so we can burn some alien bugs. Now, it is time to load up the game. As you can see, it is actually basic, but that's not entirely true. It's basic with machine language subroutines, so it actually runs much better than just a straight basic game. And because it's basic, you just use the run command. And we come up with the title screen, Klendathu, copyright 1982 by Leo Christopherson. Now, Leo Christopherson was a middle school, I think, math and computer science teacher, and something that I heard from L. Curtis Boyle, which I haven't heard this personally, but from L. Curtis Boyle, and I very much trust his knowledge of all things Coco related, is that when he was making his games and stuff, he used to bring them into his classroom so that they could play test them and play around with them in the classroom. Anyway, just an interesting little bit of trivia. So, to start the game, you have to use the clear key. Now, the clear key is sometimes a little bit hard to find if you're using an emulator. On my personal emulator, it's the home key. So, we're going to play on easy. And we'll just choose 3 as our time, and we're playing with a joystick, 1 player. You can play 2 simultaneous players with this game, which I've never done because, well, I have no friends. So this is your main screen of your stats. Your rank, how much money you've earned, how many drops you've done. The idea is to try to get through 3 drops, which is going down to the planet and starting bugs on fire. So we'll start it off. Now this is your overlay map. And so you just got to move with the arrow keys on the keyboard to one of these screens that are flashing bug. Then you hit the clear key to enter it. And that was a bad time to enter it because you're trying to make sure that no bugs are making it to the bottom of the screen. So, there. So basically that first time I just dropped right into the middle of an entire hive of bugs and I would have died really quickly. So as you can see, there's a few different types of bugs. The ones that use their psionic blast or whatever it is on you, they hurt. They're not good. Okay, I'm going to leave that one before I die. Let's go to a different one. I believe there's 3 basic different types of bugs in it. There's the orange ones, the green ones that shoot at you, and then the green ones that are just kind of like worker bugs that don't do anything except harm you if they make it to the bottom of the screen. And of course you're earning money for every time you kill a bug. And once like this, you start getting overrun. Best to jump out of it and go to a new area. So not a difficult game to pick up, but it is a fun game. It was actually one of the very first games I had on the color computer when my parents bought me my color computer for either my birthday or Christmas. I can't remember which. This was one of the games that they bought for me because my dad was a huge science fiction fan. Now you got to watch that you don't run out of your suit or your time. If you run out of either of those, you die. You can run out of fire. If you do run out of fire, then you just basically run out of the ability to kill any of the bugs. But with suit and time, you die. So if you were playing 2 players, the second player would also be on the screen, and they would be a cross rather than a dot. And yeah, you'd be competing to see who can kill the most bugs. See if I can run myself out of fire here. And I am out of fire. So now the thing to do is you go over to the end, which is your pickup point. You hit the Q key and hit the T key to kill the rest of your time. As you can see, I made $4,191 on drop number 1. You just repeat that 3 times, and that is the game. If you can make it through all 3, and see what rank you can make. And obviously, as you're playing, I mean, every time the your suit and your time and your fire are all restarted, but there just gets to be more and more bugs each drop. So the difficulty does ramp up a little bit. And that is the very first Starship Troopers video game, Klendathu. And if you are a fan of the genre, I think it's actually a fun game to play. Like, by the genre, I mean both retro video games and Starship Troopers. It's a fun game to play. It's not complicated. It's one of those pick up, play it, put it down type games. It's nothing you're going to spend 4 or 5 hours playing, but, you know, play it through a couple times. It's a lot of fun. And as I did mention in the video, it was one of the very first games I had for my color computer. It was fortunately bought for me by my science fiction loving father when him and my mother bought me my color computer for, it was either my birthday or Christmas. I can't remember which exactly, but yeah, so it was one of the early games that I played. And it was the reason that I read the original book as well. Yeah, I guess the internet is a little bit incomplete, not mentioning this game on any of those vast number of wiki pages and game listings and everything else, other than if you look specifically in retro games. So hopefully this video has brought that to light, and maybe that will change a bit if I have that much influence, which I doubt I do, but hey, you can pass it on and let other people know that this game exists. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget that a like, a subscribe, and a comment below are all things that help the channel out a lot, and they are really, truly appreciated. All right, well, until next time, I will see you later.